Welcome, guys, to In Your House, and of course, I am your director, Hollywood House, and you already know what I do. That's give you guys that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business, and that is what we do, and we do it so well because we give it to you when you're in your car, maybe you're dropping the kids off at school, maybe you going to work, maybe you just chilling at home, maybe you just outside mowing the grass. What you need to do is pop us in your ears and come and get this work when it comes to professional wrestling, and that is exactly what we intend to do. Guys, it is Wednesday night. You know what that means. That's right. It is time for the In Your House Facebook Live edition. And of course, on Thursdays, you will hear the podcast edition of this episode, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday morning. Now, I got to talk to you guys a little bit real quick because like I said earlier in the week, my week started out crazy. It wasn't the best start of the week, but you know, we toughed it out, stayed strong, got through, and now we already here to Wednesday night, halfway through. We over here hump day, you know, so you already know what that vibe is as far as hump day goes. I got to holler at my wife, but right now, before I do that, we're going to talk a little professional wrestling. And one thing that we love to do here and that we've done so well here at In Your House is have the tendency to bring on some amazing guests. And we did that on this episode. Now, you see over there on the other side, you don't see my man Hypocrisy Jones. He is going to be joining us in a short little while in this episode. But for me, I couldn't wait. I could not wait for this episode. He said he had to go do this and that. I'm like, listen, I can't wait. I'm so excited for this episode. I had to hurry up and get it started right now because the reason is because I got a really great guest. And the guest that we got here on this episode is somebody who is near and dear to me in a way because I've been very close to his career since the very beginning and able to watch him grow and able to see him become the person that he is today. I remember we were actually at a DCCW show in Muncie, Indiana. It was at the high school there, and I was doing commentary on the show. And this young man, he was hurt. He had his arm in a sling, and he was a little bit down about his injury and whatnot. But he wasn't down in a way where he was about to quit or give up. He was just, it was just a setback. An athlete, they have setbacks, and I knew from that time. Before that, but at that time when we did commentary together, that I knew that he was going to be special. And he really did do just that. And that's become somebody special. And if you guys know me, I am a fan of characters. I'm a fan of storylines. I'm a fan of character development. And that's exactly what I feel like we've seen from this young man. I mean, just an absolute rock star. He carries himself like a vibe. Everywhere he goes, he's loud and proud. And that's Logan Myers. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you very much. I don't think anybody could have given me a better introduction than that.
Appreciate that,
honestly,
man.
That was gold.
I appreciate that, man. I'm really excited to have you on the show. We was finally able to get our schedules linked up and everything. I know you're working, you're busting it out, you're doing everything that you got to do to become who we are seeing right here in front of us, and that's loud and proud Logan Myers, man. So I was glad we was able to get our schedules linked up so you can come on and we can have this conversation, bro.
Oh, I am too, man. I'm very excited about this.
Absolutely, man. So I was talking a little bit earlier about how we were coming up a little bit around the same time. You were there at, of course, WCWO, but you were doing shows also in Muncie with DCCW, and that's where I got a chance to really get a close look at your work and see what you were doing, where you were going, and now you're at the point in your career where you are now, man. And one question that I always like to ask is, for you, man, being in this professional wrestling business, where did it all start for you? Where did you get your first exposure to wrestling? And we'll get a little bit later on as far as your aspirations and your inspirations and whatnot. But what was your first exposure to professional wrestling?
I think I was about 3 years old, and I remember my cousin was playing, I'm pretty sure it was SmackDown Shut Your Mouth.
Yeah, that's a
It was
good
either
one.
Shut Your Mouth or Here Comes the Pain. I know it was one of those like early PS2 wrestling games.
Yeah.
And I remember we were playing it, and that was kind of my first like little tidbit exposure to it. And then my mom rented me WrestleMania 20 from the DVD store, like a few months
Okay.
after WrestleMania 20 happened. I
Yeah.
was 3 years old. I watched it start to finish. You know, I saw John Cena like pick up the Big Show and the whole like Big Show rap, because this is still when John Cena was like doing the whole Thugonomics gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just watching Eddie and Kurt Angle, and then obviously the main event, which I won't go into too much detail about with the whole Chris Benoit situation. But
Right. Right.
honestly, that was my first exposure to wrestling, and I regularly watched SmackDown. And I couldn't watch Raw for a while because it came on so late on Monday nights.
Yeah.
But then eventually I was able to watch Raw, and then it just all started from there pretty much.
That's cool, man. So it was just that early exposure as far as the video games. I mean, that was the first thing that you said was the video game. SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth.
Yes.
So was it a situation where you were playing the games and then you started was like, what is this? What is what is this in ring thing? And then you start to realize, okay, these aren't just characters in a video game. These are real people.
Mm-hmm.
Real larger than life athletes.
Yes, I played, like I said, I played one of the video games, and then I remember watching WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
And I think the first person that I saw from the video game was The Rock in that Evolution Rock and Sock Connection match. And I was like, that guy was in the video game. And then, like, Booker T was in a big match. I remember Booker T being on the video game. And then Angle. I remember Kurt Angle had hair on the game, and he didn't have hair at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
And I started putting two and two together.
That's cool. That's cool, man. That's super cool. And it's always I personally, dog, always feel like it's interesting to hear how people got exposed to wrestling. And especially cats like you who are pursuing that dream, who are an athlete, an entertainer, and really just chasing that dream. So you're enjoying wrestling, man. You're exposed to it because of the video games. WrestleMania 20 was a big part of exposing you and bringing you and making you a fan. So I guess my next question, Logan, is you're going through these very informative years, and while you're going through these informative years, you're a pretty avid wrestling fan. So at what point in your youth did you think to yourself, you know what? I want to try to pursue this. I want to hop in the ring. I want to do this.
So I gotta say, there's two landmark events. When Daniel Bryan, the whole Daniel Bryan defeating the Authority storyline.
Yes, great
and the
storyline.
Yes Movement.
Yep.
I was in 7th grade when that happened. That was a very big one. And then when I was 16, I bought the CM Punk Pipe Bomb like DVD set, and I watched the documentary. And that when I watched that, I'd already kind of hinted at myself that I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But the CM Punk documentary about him going through like IWA and then Ring of Honor and then to the WWE up until, you know, when he was just kind of floating around, you know, just he was like I'm straight edge, whatnot, and then he dropped the pipe bomb and everything changed, and just captivated me, that whole documentary. And just watching that, just like, okay, this is it. So that was in between my sophomore and junior year of high school is when I really finally decided, boom,
I want to do this. This is what I want to do.
Like it was always kind of like, oh, I want to do this, but then it was like, no, now it's clicking. Like, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that, man. Like I think that's really cool. So I know that you're starting to come up and things are, you're starting to get opportunities now in your career. You're somebody who is avidly continuously training, which I very much respect that. Always working, always trying to get better, always trying to better yourself. And even back in those DCCW days when I was managing the highlight reel and just doing my thing, I was still able to watch you grow and see the growth of Logan Myers and who he's becoming. So now we're seeing that. Now we're seeing that as a worker, you're getting more and more crisp. And if you guys get a chance, I'm gonna let him plug everywhere that you guys can catch his matches, where you can see Logan Myers, any promotions, and we'll definitely talk about your work at D6 too. But one thing I want to talk about is this evolution, because people who follow you and have been following you for the last few years have noticed this gradual change. It's this loud and proud movement that you're carrying, as far as just like being a vibe and just being true to yourself and being this rock star. That I mean, that's the energy that I get. I mean, I'm talking. I see Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in the ladder match type vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like for the Intercontinental title, coming out through being just a vibe like Shawn Michaels was in that time. What inspired this loud and proud gimmick? What inspired this character of you being such a rock star, being such a this is who I am, an unapologetic type of vibe?
Oh, so from a very young age, I can remember music being played in the house.
Yeah.
My parents were always listening to music, and I'm gonna talk about my mother here for a second. So
Sure.
My mom lived in California in the '80s on the Sunset Strip.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
She witnessed bands like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Poison, mostly like the hair metal kind of hard rock scene kind of blow up. Like she was at the how do I put this? At the specific place where these bands were grinding, kind of like how Indianapolis is the specific place where people like me and the highlight reel and Rachel Armstrong and stuff like that are really honing our craft.
Yes.
And like I said, I always remember music being played in the house. Like whether it's my mom like jamming out to sometimes the Eagles, sometimes Guns N' Roses, sometimes Motley Crue, or my dad would be playing Southern rock like Skynyrd, Fleetwood Mac, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So music was like, that kind of music was put into my brain at a very young age, as long as I can remember. And I remember when I was about 6, for my birthday, my mom bought me 2 CDs and like one of those portable CD players. Yes, I didn't grow up necessarily. I didn't get the touch screen stuff until I was almost in middle school. So
a little bit of
I
old
remember
school,
stuff
all right.
like that. Yeah, she bought me a Johnny Cash CD with it and a AC/DC Live, which is just like a random AC/DC tour. It was all like their live music.
Yeah.
And I was really vibing with it. And then I remember I bought the first CD I ever bought. Like I did some chores for my dad and he gave me some money. I bought Guns N' Roses' debut album, Appetite for Destruction. And my life changed forever when I first heard that.
Cool.
And I remember like when my stepmom moved in, she brought her CD collection. I was just random different stuff. Like that introduced me to grunge, metal, all kinds of stuff. So music's always been like my second thing.
Like your other love, yeah.
Yes, my other love. I don't know how to play an instrument or anything, unfortunately.
That's all right.
That'd be
That's
cool.
all right.
But I remember when I discovered David Bowie. David Bowie was there. It was kind of like there's something about this guy that just captivated me. That first time, everybody has their hero. David Bowie's my hero.
That's
And
cool.
I kind of told myself, I want to be like that guy, like this ever changing ball of creativity
Yeah,
and enthusiasm, and just kind of bring in the world your creative vision. And to some
sure.
people, it's going to be strange, and to some people, it's going to be captivating. But either way, you're going to get a reaction doing it. And then I like just started studying specific rock stars rather than just bands and stuff, like
Yeah,
Bowie, Freddie Mercury, Mick Jagger, Elton John, Jim Morrison. And I tied all these in also to who I am as a person, and that is really what dawned what you're seeing today.
yeah, man. That's cool. I like
A
that.
real like old school vibe, yes. I've always
Yeah,
been like an old soul because like growing up I liked old movies,
yeah.
I liked old music. And like I remember one of my PE teachers called me grandpa because she's like, "Man, you were born in the wrong century or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I probably was." Oh well.
I like it, man, because I also relate to that. I've always been called an old soul, even in my younger
Yeah.
years, and like at first I was like, I don't know about that, but now, yeah, I'm in my 30s. I'm like, yeah, I could see that,
Yeah,
and
hey, there's some modern stuff I like. I love Miley Cyrus.
oh
Is
yeah,
that modern
Miley.
enough for people?
I think
Yeah.
that's about as modern. That's pretty modern. That's pretty
Yeah,
modern.
it's pretty modern.
I respect it, man. I do. So like we're seeing you connect this dot. You're connecting, and this is what I really love about seeing the growth that you've had since your early WCWO days, and now we're seeing you across the state. We're seeing you in different states. We're seeing Loud and Proud really start to branch out slowly but surely, so people can see what you do and see that specific vibe that you are. Man, I really enjoy seeing it. It's great, and it's cool because one thing about me, Logan, is I once again, like I said earlier, I like to see the development. So like I always thought that you could do your thing in the ring, and like not like nothing against the moves. I think the moves are great and everything, but when you can
Absolutely, yeah.
do what you've done, Logan, which respectfully I don't think a lot of cats that are on par with you at your range, at your level, at where you're at this stage of your career. I don't think they've tapped into that. Hey, who am I? Who am I trying to give you? Who am I trying to put out there for the world to see? Yes, I can do the moves, but do they know who I am? And I think that you've tapped into that early in your career, and dog, it is a beautiful thing because I think that who you are, you finding who you are, who Loud and Proud Logan Myers is going to really help you now beyond moving forward because you're just being true to yourself, bro.
I I appreciate that.
No
It's
problem,
like
man.
early on, before I was really starting to tap into it, it's like this guy's just kind of pretending to be Freddie Mercury, or he's kind of pretending to be insert random 80s, 70s, 80s frontman or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, this is like genuinely a part of me.
yeah, man.
Like,
I think that the difference is you're taking those pieces of you, all those different things that you like as far as the characters outside of professional wrestling, and of course that's rock stars. And instead of it seeming like you're mimicking insert rock star, insert whatever, it's like you're taking these things from them and mixing it together, and instead of mimicking one person, you're mixing it all together to become who Logan Myers is. And I love to see it. I think you are completely on the right track, bro. For sure. For sure.
oh yeah.
So, man, like I said before, you are starting to break out, doing these different promotions, doing these different shows, and now you've had an opportunity to branch out into different states, and that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, and that's your work at D6. At Destination 6 Wrestling over there in Macomb, Illinois, and I get a chance to be there too, so I get a chance to be close to the work that you're doing there at D6, and you are the Midwest Express champion over there, man. I just want to ask you, as far as where you're at in your career and the way that you're being presented at D6, what does that mean to you, and what does being the Midwest Express champion mean to you?
Oh man. Well, one thing that's special about being the Midwest Express champion is I am the inaugural Midwest Express champion.
Right, yeah.
And that's something that not a lot of people can say, is they're the first champion of some sort. Like Pat Patterson was the inaugural Intercontinental champion.
Yep.
Tyler Bate was the inaugural UK champion. Stuff like that is just special. And then what I love about Destination 6, and I remember you guys bringing it up on one of your podcasts, it's not just a platform for people to go out there and wrestle.
Yeah.
Which if two guys go out there and throw down, I love that. Believe me, I love that. That's awesome too. But it's also a platform where people can get to know the wrestlers, like the persona, who this guy is, who this person is. You know, we cut our promos, we put our content out there, and I love that Destination 6. Everybody brings something different to the table.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has their own kind of vibe. Like, you got me, obviously. You got Mickey Midas.
Yes.
Sam. You got Sam Knight, Oliver Kane, Christian Rose. Like, all these good talents from the Midwest bringing something different to the table and not looking at the guy next to them and going, that's working for this guy. I'm just going to do it too, you know?
Yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of talent, does that. And it's like when you can just, Jimmy Jacobs, a worker, legendary independent professional wrestler, whatnot, that I look up to a lot, once said something that stuck with me. He said, he was talking to some young wrestlers, and he's like, you can't just get by being a good wrestler. He's like, you want to be the best wrestler ever? He's like, I'm sorry, Bryan Danielson already exists. Which I started laughing because I'm like, yeah, he's not wrong.
Can't argue that.
He's like, if you can't be the greatest, you can at least be different. You can at least be different than everybody on the roster, or whatever platform you're on.
Yeah.
And I think Destination 6 is special because everybody's different. That's what I think.
I dig that, man, and I think that you're right. I think that you make a good point there, as far as you get so much different acts, so much different feels, and of course we're trying to give you guys that more intimate feel. There at the D6 Arena, definitely a small, intimate type vibe there with the 6-sided ring, and then the promo work that we get a chance to see, that we get a chance to work with you guys on. I'm really enjoying that. Very proud of the work that's being done there as far as the promo work there. But like you said, getting a chance to not just see fantastic wrestlers, but see fantastic characters, and be able to follow these characters and be able to follow their stories. And I think that's something, and I've said it on this show before many times, I feel like that's something that is lacking in independent professional wrestling, and it's lacking in there because it's just like, let's just give you 6 or 7 matches, and the action will be great depending on the show. Not all of them are great, but depending on the show, we give you 6 or 7 matches of straight action. But it's like, we just saw that. That's just that. I feel like that if we have the opportunity to give these fans a full ride, I'm not just talking just the wrestling. I'm talking, let's give them the full experience. Let's give them the full wrestling experience. I'm talking the wrestling, the drama, the comedy, the energy, everything. And I feel like that that's what we are trying to build at D6, is try to give you a little bit of everything, because my thoughts are, Logan, and I'm not sure where you're at on this, you might agree, but my mindset is a good wrestling show has a little bit of everything.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I think Ricochet said that in an interview recently, and I saw Billy Rock share it, and I was like, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, wrestling should be a little bit of everything, not a lot of bit of too much, a little bit of everything.
I agree with that, man. So I'm glad you feel that way. You're doing really great work. Once again, to be able to see your growth and be so close to it, it brings me personal joy, dog. Like, real talk. Like, to know that I'm like, hey, this young man, I was actually there for the beginning. And then whatever happens with you now, I can say, man, I was close to that cat's career, no matter where you go. And I think it's high places. And that's just a perfect segue to ask my next question to you there, man. And that is, what are your aspirations in the business? I mean, I know that right now you've got, I don't even want to call it a character. I get that it's a quote unquote character, but dog, this is just you turned up times 10, and that's it, man. That is it. Like, when you get to that point where you're not just trying to be somebody else, you're being yourself turned up times 10. It's a beautiful thing, and it unlocks so much potential and so much more inside of you that I think can come out. So my question is, what are your aspirations, Logan? How far do you want to take this Loud and Proud experience? What will make you feel, pretty fulfilled in your career?
Oof. That's
it's a loaded question, man.
That is a loaded question. A lot of people instantly have the one, whether it's WWE, AEW. I would not be lying if I said, yes, those are obviously my goals. Is the ultimate two, one or the other, whatever. I want to travel the world with wrestling.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah.
My number one country I want to wrestle in more than any other is England.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because I'm a big fan of the English world of sport style.
Yeah.
From the 70s and 80s, and then when the English independence really blew up when I was in high school and middle school with like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
And all the UK guys, and I was a big follower of that. So I definitely want to mix it up in England. And then obviously Japan would be really cool too.
Sure.
But England just holds a special place in my heart when it comes to like the famous wrestling countries,
Sure.
And like I said, travel the world. And I just want to bring the Loud and Proud experience, this platform, and I would either want to make it as Logan Myers. I either want to make it as Loud and Proud Logan Myers, or I don't know. I want to take the Loud and Proud Logan Myers aura as far as it can go, and I believe with my whole heart it can go as far as I want it to go.
I think that's a good mindset. I mean, you said it yourself. Obviously, you being young, you got a great look, and a great athlete. And once again, I gush so much about what you've become as a character and stuff. I think that those things are obviously what you would want to do as far as the big two, AEW, WWE. But of course, like, success is different to different people. You know, like
Absolutely, yeah.
what you think successful, the next man might not think it's successful, or he might think it's successful too, or it just differs. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's important to realize that what is going to make you happy, what is going to make you feel like you're getting out of bed, putting both feet on the floor, and you're ready to step big into the day. Whatever that takes, that's different for different people. So I think that's a cool answer. I think that you gave the obvious. Of course, you want to get you want a contract. I mean, who doesn't? Who's
Yeah,
active
who
and doesn't?
wouldn't?
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but your mindset as far as what you want to do, as far as taking loud and proud as far as you can, that's a beautiful thing, and I agree with that. And that really just leads me to my next question. Once again, just these silky smooth segues. We're jumping right into it, man. Where where did the idea of being loud and proud come from? What is this movement to you? What does loud and proud mean to you that you would have it so strongly as your moniker and part of who you are?
Really, I just loud and proud to me. What I came up with the mojo, I call it the mojo, loud and
Mm-hmm.
proud, is like I said, rock stars, and people, and also people that I've looked up to, not just rock star, like Muhammad Ali,
Yeah,
was one of my first heroes.
that's cool.
Just like throwing his hands in the air, trash talking, saying he's the baddest, the prettiest, the fastest, like
Yeah,
just people who I have like looked at in my time and said that person is unapologetically themselves,
yeah,
and they're not afraid to express it. I feel like a lot of people um, get stuck in this whole kind of, I don't, what's the words for it? I'm gonna use the word conformity.
yeah,
Conformity as in kind of like, kind of not really speaking up. Well, speaking up, they're kind of afraid to be a rebel.
yeah.
It's kind of easier for them to blend in, to get ahead and whatnot, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge anybody, but what I'm
Right.
saying is I can't do that. I
Yeah,
can't I can't do that. If I was just not expressing who I am, as a person and what I stand for, I wouldn't be able to do it. I
yeah,
just want to show people that you can, hopefully, like, you can get where you want to be in life and still be yourself.
yep,
Like, the whole, like I said, I either want to make it as me, or I don't want to make it at all. And that's how I feel about, like, I think Prince is the perfect example of that.
yeah. Prince. Yeah,
Like, the music industry was trying to get him to calm down, or I'm not going to say calm down, because what he did was, mwah, chef's kiss.
I love
Trying
it.
to tone him down, because
Yeah,
especially the Purple Rain album was very edgy for its
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And like Bowie, a lot of the British artists that came over here to America were very edgy. And that's what rock and roll was. It was this edgy, kind of rebellious style music that
yep,
obviously branched out into different subgenres.
yeah,
And basically, Loud and Proud is self expression and growth and just a walking, talking, bold statement, man. Like, here I am. This is who I am. I can be pretty. I can be good. I
yeah,
can check all your boxes, but still be who I am. And that's kind of a loudmouth, androgynous, whatever you want to say, rock star diva, I
yeah,
guess, is how some people would describe me. But, and it's just like another thing, like tattoos. Tattoos to me are a big form of self-expression.
yeah,
Like, you look at body art and you're just showing people, hey, this is who I am. Like, I have this one right here. This is my first fear ever. Michael Myers, horror movies. And then I got this music mural. This is part of me. Like, I'm just showing you I'm not afraid to be who I am, and that's what the Loud and Proud Mojo is all about.
I love it, man. That's the type of energy I like. You used words like unapologetic. You use words like edgy, and
Yeah.
I think that that is exactly, and I think that you'll see as your career goes on that you're gonna push that a little bit further, a little bit further every single time. But for you, just from this is my opinion, but for you and the way that you carry yourself, not the character that you are, but the larger than life person that you are, I think that that's always going to be a thing that you do as you grow, is that you're always going to push it a little bit further and go a little further and be a little bit more in your face, a little bit more, hey, unapologetic, this is what you're getting. And as you continue to do that, it's just going to launch you more and more into the stratosphere, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, like, also it's kind of a thing. I was that kid that, you know, I remember I wore, I got a leather jacket in high school, and the kids were giving me so much crap about a leather jacket. I thought leather jackets were the coolest thing ever, but obviously leather men's jackets were the coolest things ever. But and it's just like, I was once that kid who was afraid to kind of be like, hey, this is who I am. So, you know, I did conform once, and now I'm trying to show people, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just keep doing you. Who cares what other people have to say? If they have anything negative to say about what you're doing, especially with like clothing, tattoos, stuff like that, man. It's like, really, like, you're gonna judge people on their clothes? Like, come on now. Like, it's a form of like, I'm proud of who I am. The whole look good, feel good thing, right?
Yeah, man.
But some, you know, you'll always have your like judgmental people out there, and that's fine. Just let them do them. Let them have bad fashion, and you know, I'm just saying, just like the dude with bad fashion's gonna tell me my shirt's stupid. Come on now.
Facts. Oh, I love it. Oh,
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm kind of sarcastic and smarmy too.
That's all right. We love it. We love it. So we're having a real great conversation, guys, over there in the household. We got Loud and Proud Logan Myers. Most definitely, this has been a great conversation so far, and it's not over, because now we got my man who is returning here to the show. We got us all started and everything, and now we working, we doing our thing, and now he's back to get from. Come on, from behind the scenes, Hypocrisy. Come on, show on up. Time to get into this thing, because we got to continue this great interview with Loud and Proud Logan Myers. It is a movie, baby.
Yo, what up, household? Yo, I was sitting back enjoying this interview myself. It was kind of nice just being behind the scenes for a minute, and listening, and you know.
But if it was a movie, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
Go ahead.
If it was a movie, what movie would it be?
That's a good question. What movie? What you think? What you think, Hype?
Oh, this is definitely Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, right? Like, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, man.
I don't know. I feel like the quarterback in Dazed and Confused right now.
I did that too. Yo, I did.
The one who wanted to quit the football team. Like, yeah, you quit the football team. You don't sign that contract.
You know, sometimes you just gotta follow you and follow your dreams, and like follow what has for, or, you know, whatever life has for you, man. You can't control everything.
Right, man. Yeah, this has been great. Hype, you in here now? You in the game? Do you got any questions from my man Loud and Proud Logan Myers?
Well, I don't want to be like, you know, prototypical podcaster or anything, so I don't want to ask you like, you know, like the normal questions or anything to an extent. But I want to ask you just some oddball questions, right? Because my name's Hypocrisy and I do what I want.
We love it.
Love it. We all do what we want.
As we should. As
long as we don't harm others.
Facts.
Hey,
Facts.
yeah. No, yeah. Just, do whatever you want in life. Just don't be a dick and don't hurt people.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
All good with that. So, look, I want to know your biggest like wrestling, any other genre crossover. What's something that from a different genre that you're trying to really, really bring into wrestling?
Ooh,
like
that's a good
Loki.
question.
I don't want to tell any, or I don't want you to divulge too many secrets, but whatever you can tell.
It's a good one.
I would say music, but I'm not a musician, so I can't really. Maybe like music taste or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I got one. Style.
Boom. There it is.
I want more people. I want to show more people it's okay to have style. Like, I feel like a lot of people are so worried about, like, they're walking on eggshells to make a good impression and whatnot. They're like, oh, if I wear that shirt, what will, if I'm on the show with whatever name or whatever, will they think I'm unprofessional or whatever? But I think you should do the opposite. Like The Rock, before, I just remember, like, I'd say like 1999, 2000 Rock with the freaking dope shirts, and the shades, stuff like that, or Flair dappered up in the suits.
Yeah.
Or even Cena with the ball cap and the jorts, man. Like, make it your own. It was
a vibe.
Where, show people what your style is. Show people who you are.
Yeah.
And style is one of the easiest ways to freaking do that. You pick out a good fit. You're like, I'm proud of this. I'm going to, I'm going to look good. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to show up to the show wearing this. Then just freaking do it. And I will be the first one to go up to you and compliment you because I like that. Every time I'm in a social setting, I'm like walking around, hey, I like that shirt. Dude, that shirt's dope.
You said it to me.
Shoes.
You said it to me.
Yeah. I'm like,
not gonna lie.
I like
said
stuff
it to me
like
too.
that.
My man.
I like stuff like that, man.
I
Self-expression. Come on now.
Yeah.
I love that, and I think you're really accomplishing that. You definitely bring a different vibe and aesthetic to the wrestling ring and to just the room itself, which is why I think people like gravitate towards you and why why people are so behind you and so behind the movement of Loud and Proud, yo.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I just to capitalize on that, man, I think that, I've been in so many locker rooms, and that's one thing that actually sticks out to me too. Like, I'm looking at what you're wearing. Like, if you're somebody who's bold enough to wear the Hawaiian collared shirt or something like that, or bold enough to wear the jersey or whatever, like, I gotta acknowledge, like one thing. One thing about Logan is that he be having the coldest jackets, bro. Them jackets be too cold. Those ring jackets, whew.
Yeah.
Coldest jackets, bro.
Absolutely. I need to cop a couple of those myself just because I want them.
Just want to walk around in them, boy. Feel fly, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like if you can wear those jackets, like, can't nobody tell you nothing, right?
Man, for real.
Mm-hmm. They can. I remember the yellow one. The yellow one.
That yellow one cold.
That was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I call it the Wembley because it's very inspired from Freddie Mercury's attire at Wembley.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like somebody was like, oh, we got the Banana Man or oh, the Yellow Power Ranger. And I'm just like, yeah, but guess what? You're not brave enough to wear this out in public. Probably not. That's why you're saying that.
And I'm not gonna lie. Odds are their family tree goes straight up. So like, nobody cares what they say.
I don't. Well, and that's another thing is like sometimes my outfits I feel like they go all over the place. Like sometimes I feel like this shirt's a very Hendrix vibe.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll have like a very grungy, like this like green like kind of overcoat with like a t-shirt, and then sometimes I got like a hair metal, like a leopard spot shirt with a jean jacket. It just goes all over the place. Like, so I remember somebody's like, I don't get it, man. Are you grungy? Are you like psychedelic rock? Are you glam? Are you metal? What are you? I'm like, I'm Logan.
There you
Exactly.
go.
Like,
That's
That's
all
the
you need.
answer.
all over
all
the
you need to be.
spectrum. I'm the perfect blend. Like I bring it all together, you know.
That's
I
the
feel
You know what
answer.
I mean? And
I feel that.
it's like I also like love looking at old pictures like Run DMC and the Adidas tracksuits. Like I don't wear Adidas tracksuits, but I love like the glasses, the hat, the Adidas
Yeah.
tracksuits, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And freaking
I think you
dude,
should bring
it's
this to the table. I'm just saying, don't.
yeah.
You
I
like, we just
just
slide past that? We ain't gonna slide past
fun
that.
fact.
Yeah,
Fun
yeah.
fact. I do not own a pair of sweatpants.
Oh, yeah, maybe you
Okay.
should come into the light, bro.
Yeah, I like denim. I'm looking into leather pants, but you know those are we're a little and also like cleaning leather is kind of hard.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
have to take
Yeah.
it somewhere, but like I'm like, ooh, dope pair of black leather pants. Oof. That's something I'm like,
He's like, I'm thinking about it. It's tempting.
yeah, you know, stroke
I don't think
stroke
you
the
can go
little,
wrong with that.
yeah.
So but all I want to know is when do you add the mischief boots? Do you add the mischief boots? Like, can you? Like, no,
Uh,
no. Is that too
I'm
much
not
for
too.
you?
No, I'm not too familiar with.
Mischief boots are the big. They're kind of cartoony Astro Boy boots.
Oh, those big red boots. The big red boots.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know. I've seen people wearing them, and I like that they're wearing them. But I'm
Yeah.
like, can I see Logan wearing them?
That's the question.
That's the question. There's some things that I really like on other people. Honestly, a lot of things Kanye West has rocked in the past. I'm like, okay,
Well, I
but
mean, they
do
stole
I
that
see
from him, but that's a whole different
Yeah, I'm
conversation.
like, can I see me wearing those?
Yeah.
Which is like, I went through like my Jordans phase too, but
Yeah, sure,
it
sure.
eventually was like, these aren't really me. I appreciate the shoe game and I love
sure.
that people wear them, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not really me. I'm more of a kind of rock and roll style boot,
Yeah, man.
or sometimes Vans, and then sometimes like Toms. I like Toms, you know.
Okay.
That's a little more
Feel that.
me. And then,
Feel that.
but I do love it when somebody's rocking like a really good pair of Jordans, and it's like the
Sure.
throwbacks and stuff. It's
Sure.
just like we said, the old soul stuff, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Taking an old style and making it cool again. That's my thing.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it. That's yes.
Yeah.
Closing that gap between the old generation and the new generation, bringing it together and just making it cool. And I love to see it. I love how this conversation has become. I mean, we talked so much wrestling stuff, but now we just straight talking fashion, and I'm here for it, dog.
Dude,
Yo, this is in your
fashion-
house, and in the house, any topic is open, right? It's not just about wrestling. You know, we
Facts,
want to
man.
know the full picture.
I
Mr. Logan
want
Myers.
to talk about fashion more. I love fashion. Not enough people like you think they'd ask me about it, you know, but
What?
I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
Fashion.
you're talking a couple of. I mean, everybody. I feel like everybody that's involved in this conversation right now is at somewhat fashionable. You know, likes to go out there and make an impression. So it's only right that we would talk about fashion, especially with everything that I've seen you wear. The stuff that, like I said, those jackets cold. What was it? What was it that Drake said? He's about to go Thriller Mike Jackson on him. All he needs the fucking red jacket and some zippers. I was like, yeah, man.
I have the beat it jacket. I do
There
have
you
the Beat
go.
It jacket. Yeah.
Definitely
There you
do.
go. Love it, man. What else?
All I need
what
is
else
the
you
piano
got?
shirt and the black pants.
I love
Oh,
it. I love the aesthetic. I love the
Yes,
aesthetic.
man. I love it. What else? What else you got? What else you got? Hype. What else you got? Come on.
Okay, so let's. All right, I'm gonna put you in a scenario.
Mhm.
All right, you're on a deserted island. and I don't know how you got. I don't know how you got on this deserted island.
He on
Who
the
knows
island
how
though.
I would end up on a deserted island anyway?
But but on this deserted island, you have it. You have four of your favorite things. One of those favorite things is favorite CD. One of those favorite things is favorite wrestling match on loop, which might make you go crazy. I don't know. And then the third and fourth favorite things are movie and food.
Oh,
Man.
I like this. I like this. Okay, let's start with
Uh,
CD. Let's start with CD.
That's the toughest one for me too. Oh man. Because who knows what kind of mood I'm gonna be in when I'm like one day I could wake up and want to listen to something else.
Yeah.
So I obviously need a CD or album, if you will, with just the perfect blend of everything I like.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
also
man.
got to remember you need something that you're hopefully not going to go crazy from. So
Yeah, that is true.
it's going to need to
Honest-
vibe with any mood you're in.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was tough question.
So-
Hit him with the hard hitting questions.
Yeah, you did.
That's what
you
I'm
did.
sorry, that's
But
what I
that's
do,
okay. No, that's okay. I'm here for it. Honestly, I'm gonna go. Dang it, man. Woo! I'm gonna go David Bowie, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. Because that album tells a story. It's more so than like the songs from start to finish, kind of a story. And it's got the perfect blend to me of like a little harder stuff, a little more softer stuff. I was gonna go Guns N' Roses, but I was like, man, that's a lot of anger to be stuck on an island with, and a lot of like,
Yeah.
a lot of I love Axl, but a lot of like screaming to be listening to, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
might
don't
be
wanna be-
appropriate. If I'm stuck on
I
an
don't want to
island,
go
I might be a
punch
little
a
pissed.
tree, you know. I don't want to be like, and then go like sock a tree and break my hand or something.
Right.
So maybe GNR ain't the right vibe for an island. So I'll go David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. It's one of my all-time favorite albums
Cool.
for the CD. Wrestling match. Oof. See, that's another thing. Like, what if I want to watch like 1980s Memphis or
Yeah.
Crockett?
You got
or what
what
if I watch some like
you got what you got, man. All you got right
Alright.
is an iPod Mini or is an iPod, right?
Yeah.
That just so happens to have what it has on
Oh
it.
man.
Sorry.
Okay. Honestly, this is a very popular match, but it is probably one of my all-time favorite matches. CM Punk, John Cena, Money in the Bank 2011.
Ooh.
I could watch that match
Dig it.
over and over and over again, as long as I get the video package too.
Oh yeah.
Of like
Yeah.
the and the do I have your attention now? Like
Yes.
that's my childhood right there, man.
so awesome.
Okay. if I could get
I'll give you the
that-
video package with that. You can have
Okay,
the video.
sweet.
Give him
Yeah,
that video
I'll go-
package, dog.
I'll go
Yeah.
Punk Cena, Money in the Bank 2011. That just probably one of the most important matches for me, wanting to be a wrestler. And then you said food and movie, right?
Yep.
Oh man. Normally I would say Halloween but I don't want to watch a horror movie all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Footloose.
Okay.
I could watch Kevin Bacon's journey and to getting dancing and the prom legalized over and over and over again. Actually, I take that back. Not Footloose. Almost Famous. Almost
Okay.
Famous.
Ooh,
Almost
okay.
Famous. Very, very cool story about if you haven't seen it, this young man, his mom is like college professor, hammered down, like stern lady, and this kid wants to be a rock journalist for like Rolling Stone or Cream magazine. So he gets assigned to interview Black Sabbath, but instead interviews an up-and-coming band, and he falls in love. Well, she's not a groupie, but she's a groupie in the movie. She claims to not be a groupie. She claims to not be a groupie, but the band kind of treats her like a groupie. And he falls in love with her, and he's young. It's the 1970s, people. Sorry. And he goes on the road with them and he experiences the rock star lifestyle and it's just a beautiful story to me. I could watch that movie all over again. And then food, does it need to be one specific food, or can it be like an order that I would get at Panda Express?
I mean, that works for me. I'm
All
not
right,
gonna be
cool.
too picky with you.
Sweet. So I'm gonna go plate with some chow mein, orange chicken, and grilled teriyaki chicken. But I always substitute sweet and sour sauce instead of teriyaki sauce because I'm a weirdo. So
Not weird. Not weird
yeah,
at all.
and that would be my food. So there's me stuck on an island, rise and fall, Ziggy Stardust, Punk, Cena, Money in the Bank, Almost Famous, and my Panda Express order.
I love it.
There we
I
go.
love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that. That
There's
was
some
fun.
Logie stuff for you.
Cool. I'm cool. I feel like
I
we're
just love that you
accomplishing.
didn't cower from the question, so I appreciate that. I really do.
Took it straight to the chest, man. I love it. I dig it.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
you did.
well, there was a lot of bouncing around, but I'm like, okay, I don't have hours to decide this, so like, let's just throw some out. It might change in a year, but who cares?
Absolutely,
Like,
that's
Sure.
okay.
We're in the
That's
present.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
bipolar just like the rest of us, right? Like, I get
Man, it all changes, man. Trust me, I get it. I definitely get
Yeah.
it. So we've talked a lot of aspects of your career. It's been great. It's been fun, a vibe. But I also know that that the wrestling carousel is always going, and us here at In Your House, we're always talking also the mainstream news of things that are going on in professional wrestling, and to have an actual, an actual professional wrestler on here, it's always great to get that type of insight on a different level, because like you're a lot closer to the business than anybody who's listening to this podcast for the most part, because we got a lot of fan interaction. We do have some people in the business who do listen, but mostly it's for the fans. It's to get our opinions out there, and of course get great talent like you out there to the fans, the members of the household that's listening across all the different states, all the different countries that we have the privilege and the opportunity to have that reach to. So I know that Hypocrisy had some things that he wanted to talk about in terms of what's going on in some of the mainstream. So Hype, if you want to take it from there, ask a couple of questions as far as what's going on in today's professional wrestling, and then we can all just kind of go back and forth about it for a while.
Okay, so I dig that. Today in the wrestling news, as according to a bunch of British guys that I listen to on YouTube, the big news is Goldberg today, because
Goldberg.
Goldberg, dun dun. Anyways, he felt kind of slighted by him, Vince McMahon, and the way that he has went out on in WWE. He didn't like that Roman match. He said he just came off of having COVID and all sorts of things. So he's kicked around the idea of hosting his own 4-match tour, which is kind of interesting. Super interesting. And then the other topic that we can talk about today that's floating around the interwebs is that WWE has opened its doors after they had closed them a couple years ago to third-party streaming services, and or at least in the case of Twitch, they have reached an agreement with Twitch where WWE superstars are able to use their name and likeness to stream across Twitch, and also gain revenue from this. In this deal, the people that make the majority are the wrestlers themselves and Twitch. WWE is only taking a small commission off of this, which is really good news, because back a couple years ago we heard that they were going to try to leverage people's stream revenues for their actual contract. So some good news there. But those are our topics today, and we can talk about both, any of them, or whatever seems the most interesting to you, man.
Yeah. No. I talked a little bit. I talked a little bit earlier in the week as far as Goldberg and the possibility of him even pulling up to AEW.
I think you had a
and
premonition, bro.
I know that now this stuff it's a possibility because he is such a hot free agent. So, Logan, what are your thoughts on Goldberg possibly doing a 4-show tour to end out his career? Of course, we know Goldberg. A lot of his time was obviously spent in WCW with the Streak, being a United States champion, being a WCW champion, and then later on having a run in WWE, and then them kind of bringing him in now as an attraction, and him wanting to get sent off in a way that he sees fit, and a possibility of maybe AEW or some 4-show tour that he orchestrates himself. What are your thoughts on that from the standpoint of you seeing Goldberg, you coming up seeing Goldberg, and then now you being in the business, and you're a long way from retirement, But what are your thoughts on these developments?
So honestly, I did not hear about it until you guys talked about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or brought it up to me.
Oh, that's cool. That's our jobs, man. We bring you the rest.
Yeah.
Up
which
to the
is
minute,
weird
man.
because I hope I do not get heat for saying this. I listen to like Jim Cornette a lot.
Okay. Oh, you don't get heat for that.
Okay, sweet. I was gonna say am I allowed to say this?
Yeah, no, you're good, dude.
And so like he comments on the wrestling news a lot, especially on the drive-through, and I do remember, didn't Hulk Hogan do a similar like tour before, like a tour of the world, or was it like
it was something similar to that?
Somewhere he would wrestle as like older opponents. Like I know Flair was on there at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like Goldberg, if Goldberg wants to do that, like I don't see why he shouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
That's I'm not gonna sit here and act like I should know what's best for Goldberg. Like, I definitely don't.
Oh no!
So
look, that man is a business in himself, and like who are we to tell anyone what they need to do? We get that.
If that means Goldberg pops up, if he does pop up on WWE again, cool. If he pops up on AEW, cool. Or if he just does somehow some indie promotion, one of the bigger, he's able to do some giant, indie show or whatever, or indie tour, let him do it. If Goldberg feels like he didn't get the proper send-off or whatever, or he wants to better himself and kind of show like, hey, like, this is not what you have seen. I'm not happy with it, and this is what I want to showcase.
Yeah,
let him do it, man. Why not?
Absolutely.
I dig that. Go ahead.
So Michael Collins in the chat says that if Goldberg goes to AEW, they should restart the streak. I'd like to just let's push this scenario. Like, I don't want to argue whether he should go to WWE or AEW because I don't really want to see him in WWE. And there's only part of me that wants to see him in AEW. Mm-hmm. But let's say that he puts together his own Ric Flair's last stand sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So let's four wrestlers that you'd like to see maybe Goldberg go up against in a 4-match scenario, I guess.
Ooh. Ooh. That's a good question.
I'm gonna name one.
Con, you're open to this too. So.
Okay, I'm gonna let our guest go. I'm gonna let our guest go first, though.
Already got one, because man, if you want Goldberg to go out as like mega babyface, Jeff Jarrett.
I like Jeff Jarrett.
You know what? I'm a big Jeff Jarrett guy.
I'm growing on him. Definitely growing on him.
It's like when you say the name Jeff Jarrett in a wrestling setting, usually when you're around fans more so than workers, but like thus the amount of people that just flare up. I'm like, heel. heel.
Yeah.
So Jeff Jarrett and Goldberg would probably be a very good story and probably good business.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
For
I like
me,
that.
to bring one in for me, I'd like to see him go up against a guy that he does have history with, somebody who holds some of the same lineage that he holds coming from WCW, and I'd like to see one of his last 4 opponents be Sting.
Oh.
I think that would be rather interesting, especially if they could build that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely, they
absolutely.
could build it. I mean, that would be something interesting. Once again, they have that history together of being some of the top guys in WCW in that day and age. And I'm thinking guys that are active. You know, I'm thinking guys that can actually put on a somewhat decent match, but make sense to go up against Goldberg. And one of the guys that first came to my mind was Sting.
Absolutely. I dig that. I dig that. Okay, I'm gonna throw a name out there. I don't even know if this is possible because I don't know how contracts work and it's none of my business. But like, what if for the right money we could get Goldberg and Stone Cold?
Oh, man! Now you're just talking.
We've never really seen it. It never got done properly. You know, with the right amount of build and the right amount of money, I don't know. I could see Ric Flair's son-in-law, hosting this. What's his name?
Conrad Thompson.
Yeah, Conrad Thompson. So like, I could see
get old Connie on it. I don't know Conrad, so I'm sorry if me calling him Connie was overstepping my boundaries.
You're good, dude.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. There's no limits here, so just be yourself.
Yeah, be you. Be true, baby. You already know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got one more. Who's got that 4th one? Because you have 4, and I'm trying to think.
I have an interesting scenario.
Okay, go ahead.
If oh man, I don't usually do this. So if it was an AEW. This is a long shot. I could see something. I could just see it happening. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm not saying that it should happen. I'm just saying I could see, honestly, if they brought him to AEW, right, and they did the streak, right? It's called the streak. Yeah. I could see them building him up, only to lose, to get this man even more heat. MJF. Imagine, I'm just saying, like, from a heat standpoint, if Goldberg, because like when Goldberg comes back, he's still Goldberg. Honestly, to the average fan and to most people, obviously there's always haters to everybody, but like,
for sure.
If Goldberg comes back, he runs through a bunch of people, and then he if it's MJF, it'll probably be pretty interesting to watch because MJF's just a mastermind. And you just see him beat Goldberg. I feel like people would be so shitty.
I don't even hate that.
Jeff Jarrett too. That's why I said Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
too.
I don't even hate that because MJF would tell that story.
Buttons.
Yep, MJF would tell that story beautifully too.
It'd be people would be like, "Oh, he's gonna do what Wardlow did," and MJF just beats him.
Yeah. What you think, Hype? What you thinking about that? MJF Goldberg?
Yo, I could deal with that. I could dig that. Another scenario that crossed my mind is, all right, let's take the wrestling out of this because maybe we get a shoot fight out of this.
Oh God!
And, hopefully nobody gets hurt. But like, what if we could get Goldberg and Brett?
Why would you? I knew you was going there. I knew you was
man. Man, I am such a big Bret Hart fan. I would not want to see that.
Oh man, I knew he was going there. I knew it.
Look, I'm sorry. I know the scenario is crazy. It could never probably absolutely.
It's like Goldberg is still a machine.
Yeah.
Like he is still a behemoth and a walking freaking
he's a monster
tank
still.
and Brett, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to see my man Brett in a shoot fight right now.
No, and I love
you're right
Brett.
about that. Okay,
No pun
that's a
intended. It would break my heart.
absolutely. All right, so that was a crazy scenario. It probably couldn't happen, but all right, I have another scenario. Even though like Goldberg can still kind of go, I don't think
Yeah.
he can go much past like 5 minutes. But like, what if he actually just goes to AEW and becomes like a manager of like, let's say a Jade Cargill who already has a streak similar to him?
That'd be kind of interesting.
That'd be very
Like,
interesting.
That's the scenario I want to see, and like I kind of would like to see guys like that used more. Like they always, like, just like they use Sting, right, with Darby and the
Allin,
way
yeah.
that's used. And I think that's one that's been beautifully made. Not so much with Christian and Jungle Boy. I don't really love that one, but you can see where that mentorship it benefits from. And man, maybe putting her with a Goldberg, more intensity.
I would like to just see those two mixed up in their dynamic together as a whole, because Goldberg is like Logan said, just this machine, this hulking monster that's just ready to plow through people, and Jade plows through competition as well, but she's more bad and bougie and got that black girl magic to her. How would those two associate together and to be like, hey, I know that we're different. You're a black female. I'm a Jewish male.
Big
but
white Jewish man.
But I support you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be interesting to see.
Well, I think that dynamic would absolutely be interesting. You could either take it from an athletic standpoint where they're both former athletes, but obviously they're both dominant forces at least in their own right, or begin in very, very similar ways. So I think that dynamic could be played off of and really could be money. That would be my scenario for Goldberg, if and only if like he's coming back to somewhere. I don't really want to see him personally, but if like, I don't know, if we got to do something that's going to help somebody else.
For sure, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that, and I think that the scenarios that I threw out there are very interesting scenarios. Now, moving on to that other thing that you had brought up there, Hype, the recent deal with Twitch and WWE. And that's great. Like, you talked a little bit about it, and you said WWE will be getting some of that revenue from these streams and whatnot.
Just a small percentage.
And that's cool. That's cool. But I guess my question for Logan is, I don't know if you're somebody who looks to do third-party things while you're wrestling, maybe stream video games. I know a lot of indie guys stream video games, and also guys on, like the New Day, and then AJ Styles is somebody else. Mm-hmm. But like, how much would that affect your mindset as far as, okay, now I know I can go there, and if I want to pursue something on the side, kind of a side hustle, because that's what we're very much in a society and an economy that is very like side hustles, or like let's see what we can do to make other forms of income besides our first stream of income. What does that mean for you as a performer to know that if you were to go to WWE and you did become a video game streamer, if that's something that you do, or whatever that you do, even if it's something where it's like greetings, like over the phone and whatnot, what does that deal mean for you, and what do you think it means for professional wrestling as a whole, for people that want to go there to the WWE?
Well, I know that was like a big topic for when a couple years ago, when a lot of people were leaving or getting released, or however you want to put it, the whole Twitch thing. Yeah. I'm not really a gamer.
Sure.
So my side, like, if I was to have like a side project, it'd probably be like a music history podcast, or probably a horror movie or a movie podcast. Like, I filmed a horror movie podcast with a couple of my buddies. That was quite fun. Cool. Yeah. So like, I I like it because like Talk is Jericho is awesome, you know, um, and Adam Cole seems to have a very good thing going with his Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other side projects there are. Uh, Obviously Xavier Woods is Up Up Down Down, right? Is that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Yeah, up,
Yeah.
down, yep. And then there's
And
also
it's
stuff
obviously
like there's also stuff like Cameo where people, once again, like I said earlier, Cameo where
Yeah.
people do those meet and greets over the phone and stuff and wish people happy birthday, and they lock those down too. But now those have become opening back up, and there's always little things for you athletes, you wrestlers, you superstars to do to make a little bit money on the side. And I think that it's a beautiful thing that you
Yeah.
guys have that opportunity. You know?
Yeah, and it's not just a money thing. It's also like really just something you enjoy doing,
Yeah.
especially for those people with that. I don't know how the schedule is now.
Yeah.
I feel like it probably is a little different than it was before. It might slowly be going back to the old way. But like it's something to kind of take your mind off of things, like you get to
Yeah.
really like whether you're streaming, like if you're streaming Call of Duty or whatever on Twitch, or you're filming, like Jericho films the podcast, has many different guests and many different topics, like
Yeah.
anything ranging from wrestling to music to
Yep.
paranormal stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it's just something else for you to kind of sit back and enjoy which obviously I'm a big believer in.
For sure.
Like that.
Yeah.
I like that, man. No, I think that's right, and I like that answer. I mean, whatever you do, whether you like to podcast, obviously, like guys like me and,
Oh, yeah.
and Hype, we have a passion for podcasting. Whether you like to stream video games, whether you like to do whatever you like to do, like this is it's a passion project, like you would say, a passion project. And I think that yes, there, like, of course you're making your main stream of creativity and income and what would come in wrestling if you signed a contract with the WWE. But there's like we're learning and we're seeing with you in real time, Logan, is that even though you are very much drawn to wrestling, like there's this whole other side of you, this music side that we're seeing come into your character, and like when people get to know you and know who you are, which is this podcast has really been a great opportunity for us to know more and more about Loud and Proud Logan Myers. Now it's gotten to a point where it's like, I would like to hear this guy do a history of music podcast. He'd be just the guy I'd want to hear do it because he's passionate about it. So of course, like that would be something that's awesome. What do you think, Hype, as far as this new proclamation with Twitch and WWE?
Yeah, first of all, I think Logan doing some sort of music history, podcast, sort of something,
Yeah.
or even just like an album review or something like that. Like I think
That'd
he
be
would be
cool.
major for.
That'd be cool.
Or like just I don't know. And yeah, first and foremost, I think anything that you would put your mind to or put out there, I think you would do absolutely magnificent in.
Oh yeah.
But I think this is a really good deal overall for at least WWE. It's a good thing for the wrestlers out there. It's a good thing for anybody to get a bag, right? I ain't stopping nobody from getting a bag. Get them all. Like if you can get that one, get that one, get the other one too. Like
Yeah.
all so like get your bags and like find out your different ways to get them. It's about time that WWE was able to work out a deal, and thankfully like that thankfully like they were able to do something in favor of the wrestlers. So I want to give a shout out to Marcus Fine, who's in the chat. He's listening on the Hypocrisy live stream.
Cool.
And he said hello. So I want to give him a huge shout out. We love Mr. Fine out there, yo.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Marcus is great.
Man, yes, I know he's always going to shows, always out there
Yeah.
supporting
Yeah.
indie wrestling all the time. And that's what we
Marcus
like
is
to hear.
Marcus is definitely one of those people that you need. He makes you feel good about what you're doing
Yeah,
because he just loves to come and show support. That you need
Absolutely.
people like that.
yes.
Absolutely. He's a
Oh,
good guy, and a good one to
Yeah.
have in the wrestling community. We really appreciate him.
Oh yeah.
absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. Man, we're winding down. We well, once again, like I said earlier in the show, Logan has been really avid with his training. We love to see it, and that is just part of the reason. There's many different reasons, but that's just part of the reason why he's seeing the success that he's seeing now. It's been such a cool privilege to see the growth of cats like you, cats like Blake Wright, cats like Dex Royal, cats like the Highlight Reel, Rachel Armstrong, to see you guys come out and be what you guys have become now. But it's really special to see you figure out who Logan Myers is as a character, and now we're really seeing you on this different level. And we're going to continue to see that. We're going to continue to see that growth as you continue to dig into your bag and figure out more and more who you are. Because I'm an avid believer that when you know who you are, it's easier to communicate that to people when you're doing your art, like being inside that squared circle. And when you know it, you can properly translate it to people who are following and seeing your art. So I think that's very cool. Hype. Do you got any final questions here for Loud and Proud Logan Myers?
Yo, nothing really. I just want I I want to know what you're looking forward to coming up the most. If you have something that you're really looking forward to coming up.
Yeah.
Ooh. Uh, Honestly, we talked about it. Destination 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
My match with
Yes,
Mike
absolutely.
King. The ladies' man, Mike King.
Yeah.
Feel like I have a lot to prove to him. And my Colorado debut for Battleground Pro coming
Yes.
up May
Okay.
6th. That's a big one for me. And then honestly, just I have some plans right here in the back of my head
Sure.
that I'm looking to bring out to the wrestling world. Um, I can say if you pay attention to me, you're not going to be disappointed because I'm just like configuring things and I'm like, all right, you know what? It's time. It's now or never to just put out stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be a lot more active. Those wonderful promos you all see, I'm planning on doing a lot more of those.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
oh yeah.
I love promo work. So I'm always down to see it. I'm always down to look at the growth of it, and that's great, man. You talked a little bit about your match coming up with Mike King, and
Hmm.
I know Mike King. Mike King is somebody who gave me my first shot in the business. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But now the tide has turned a little bit. You were kind of under his umbrella there as far as WCWO and most definitely DCCW. But now we're in an interesting situation here, Logan, where he's going to be coming on your turf, where you've made a name for yourself, where you've become the Midwest Express champion, and I've seen how that crowd reacts to you. They love them some Logan Myers, and why wouldn't they? So, as far as the tables turning, and this is going to be my final question before I give you a chance to plug anything that you want to plug. Now that the tables have turned and you're the big man on campus, you're the one that everybody's coming to see. You're the one that this is your home court. What does this match with Mike King and having that new element in there mean to you?
It means a lot. really. It's funny because now I'm the one with kind of everything to lose.
Yeah.
But I still got to prove a lot to me. I feel like Mike King, he's somebody who, like you said, saw me from the beginning.
Yeah.
I haven't been around Mike King too much, because I've had like other bookings when
Sure.
DCCW's a in town or whatever.
Yeah.
And I haven't been at WCWO in a while.
Yeah.
So the thing is like I feel like he hasn't yet experienced this full. Well, it's not fully evolved. I'm still evolving. We're always all evolving.
Always
I feel
evolving.
like
Yes,
he
sir.
has not seen
Yep.
what I am now.
Yeah.
But come May 20th, he's going to see it front and center, and
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I hope he is too.
That's gonna be cool, man. That's gonna be a fun show. I'm always happy to be at D6. Always happy to be around that environment. It's very, very cool and a vibe for me. And me doing the backstage production is always something that I'm proud of because I'm a production guy. I'm always a stickler for production values and how I can piece things together. And I think that we're working really hard and putting that together there at D6. But I think we worked really hard on this episode. It's been a great episode, a great interview. I mean, I love it when interviews go like this. When it goes beyond wrestling, it's always a special vibe, and I felt like that we had that special vibe with you, man. But now it's time for you to let the household, that's right, the many different countries across all of this United States, the many ears that we have and blessed to have come and pull up with us anytime they listen to the podcast. We got our fine folks here on Facebook Live. It's your time to put out there where we can find you at, what's going to be your next big move. Just plug anything that you want to plug, Logan. This is your time, your spotlight right here. Plug away, my friend.
All right, sweet. Well, you can find me on Instagram at LP Logan Myers. You can find me on Twitter at LP Logan Myers. Twitter, I'm new to Twitter, so please help me with that one. And then Facebook, Logan Myers. And then ProWrestlingTees.com/Loud and Proud Logan Myers, where you can find my merchandise. And
Cool.
if you are a fan who goes to shows that I am on, I finally will have physical merch in my possession.
Yes.
So for those of you who aren't a fan of the Pro Wrestling Tees or don't want to go through with ordering it, I will have it on me. And then really just those platforms. Like I said, I'm gonna get the YouTube up and coming, or up and launching, whatever you want to. Hopefully get some good content on there for you. And then you can find me wherever. If you pay attention to my social media, I usually share where I'm at that week or whatever, so you can catch me there too.
Cool, man. Absolutely cool. I want to acknowledge some people in the chat before we slide out of here. We got Chris Gonzalez who slid through. Of course, he runs the podcast himself, and
Gonzo,
Gonzo Sports
Yeah,
Room.
we love
Yes,
Gonzo.
we love Gonzo. He said Myers versus King will be fire, and I agree. I agree with you there,
Absolutely.
Chris. I agree with you there. We have, once again, Mr. Fine is in there. Chris Higby came through. And this is, you know what? Before we slide out of here, I do want to ask this question. We're definitely going to close this out. But Higsby came with a great question, and I think I want to ask it real quick. What's your favorite match that you've had so far?
Oof. Ooh, that's a tough one. It's a really
You've had
tough
so
one.
many. You've had so many.
Yeah. And there's.
What's one that sticks
Ooh.
out?
Trying to think. Well, I had a match I had a match with Jordan James. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Ooh, okay.
Last summer, around last July. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that one.
I like Jordan.
My match, yeah, Jordan's great. Recently had a match against Blake Wright. That was pretty, as far as crowd reaction, was pretty special to me.
Cool.
I had a Pure Rules match with Miss Rachel Armstrong.
Love Rachel.
That was very, very fun. And then really anytime I mix it up with some people, it's like, okay, here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Automatic almost.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I do have this is probably my favorite match I've ever had.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
At WPW, and Dutch Boy Platinum and me went out there, and that was if you look up my name on YouTube, like Logan Myers Wrestling or whatever, that's probably the first match that's gonna pop up.
Cool.
If you want to watch a match, watch that one. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.
Cool. Mr. Chris Higsby, appreciate that question because that made for a great question I wanted to ask before we slid out of here. Man, thanks so much for taking the time. You're usually real busy on Wednesdays. You made the time to come here and chat with us, man, and come through and have this great conversation. And I'm excited for everybody to hear it on the podcast edition. And it's been really great to have you on here, man. So I appreciate it, and thanks for coming through, bro.
Hey, thank you for having me. I was very glad to take the time to discuss things with you guys. Always a pleasure.
Cool, man.
Really appreciate you, Logan.
Cool, man.
Really, really appreciate you. Wish nothing but the best for you.
Big facts. Big facts. Yeah. I've been watching, and I've been watching for a long time, and I'm going to continue to watch, and just I just want to. I know one day I'm going to see you on TV, man. I just know it in my heart. So that's going to be really cool, man. Hype. Go ahead, let them know where they can find you at, and all the chaos that you curate, not just on In Your House, but anywhere else too. Go ahead, let them know.
Hey, yo, household. My name is Hypocrisy Jones. You can find me right here, causing the most chaos on In Your House. But I also have other projects. I do this thing called the Weekly Plug, where we plug you in to entertainment, to movies, to fashion, to arts, to literally just about anything. You want to get plugged into it? We try to do it for you. So check that out. It's the Weekly Plug. Really made it easy for you. It's a part of the Kokomo Press Network. And if you don't know about the Kokomo Press Network, man, check them out. It's Kokomo Press on Facebook and YouTube. Very, very funny stuff. I seem to find the most interesting people, whether it's my group at Kokomo Press or whether it's my homie right here, Hollywood House. But love them all. So again, my name's Hypocrisy Jones, and you can find me just about everywhere. But
awesome, man, awesome. One last thank you to our fantastic guest, Loud and Proud Logan Myers. Go ahead and check him out. Everything that he's doing, because he's going to go far, Jack. I guarantee it. Also, check out everything that my man Hypocrisy Jones is doing. Everything that he does. Hear it in your house. Everything that he does with the Weekly Plug, Kokomo Press. And, of course, Fridays, you can check him out right here again on Facebook Live for Friday Night Hype, and you already know that's going to be a movie Friday evenings. Check that out. As for me and my shenanigans, you can follow me at The Hollywood House on IG. You can follow me at Hollywood House on Twitter and on Facebook. And as far as this great podcast, you can follow us on all those major social medias. That's on Twitter, the Twitter machine, that's on IG, that is on Facebook, and that's In Your House, and it's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So guys, I really appreciate you guys coming in and being involved in such a great conversation with myself, my great co-host Hypocrisy Jones, and a great up and coming young talent and loud and proud Logan Myers. Guys, you already know these vibes. We'll be back here Friday on Facebook Live, my man Will, for Friday Night Hype. Guys, you know that action, get on or get gone, because the household, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Hey.